All right, so we want to simplify this, right? So what is this? The only way to simplify this is if, let's say you set this equal to 0, and then we had to square both sides, right? So the 0 is still 0, right? But then we have a squared plus b squared is equal to 0. But now this is going to cancel out with this 2, right? So then you're just left with the a squared plus b squared equal to 0, which then if you want to just solve for a squared is equal to negative b squared. And then you square root it again, right? But then you have a is equal to, right? This cancels out. A is equal to plus or minus the negative, right? Negative, which will just be, it's a negative 1 times b, right? This negative 1 just becomes an imaginary number, which is just kind of weird. And then b, right? So this will be your answer, but there's nothing there, right? There's nothing there. So that's just one possible way to do it. So since there's nothing there, D is my answer. Okay. The next one. All right, so let's read the problem. If 15x squared plus bx minus 28 equals 5x minus 4 times 3x plus 7, then b equals what? So what does b equal? So in order for us to do this, we're going to have to FOIL. We're going to have to FOIL. If you don't know what FOIL is, then we're going to find out right now. So the first thing we want to do here, right, is we want to multiply the first terms. So we multiply the first terms. So that makes it 5x times 3x plus the outside terms, which is 5x times 7 plus the inside terms. If you guys can see it, it's going to spell out FOIL, right? Yeah, I and I. So it's negative 4 times 3x, and then the last terms, which is going to be plus negative 4 times 7. And then we just simplify, and we'll find our b. So 5x times 3x is just going to be 15x squared. Now, if you notice real quick, we're just end up with something like this, but with the b value. So then 15x squared. So then we're going to have 5x times 7, which is just 35x. And then negative 4 times 3 is negative 12x. Minus 4 times 7 is 21, 28. And now we simplify this too to find our b. So we're going to have 15x squared. Now 35, right? Minus 12 is what? 23. Let's double check. 35 minus 12 is 23. Minus 28. So here is my b value. Boom. So my final answer here is going to be C, 23. All right, moving on. So if x squared minus x minus 12 equals 0, then x equals what? What does x equal? That's what we're trying to find out. And here we're just going to factor, right? We're just going to factor. So let me rewrite this. So we're going to have We need two numbers. So we're going to use the AC method. So AC method is terms we have here. We're going to multiply by A, and this is my C. And then the middle one here is my B. So A times C is equal to 1 times -12, which is just -12. Now I have to find two numbers that multiply to -12, but add up to -1. So B equals -1. So we'll start with the basics, right? We start with 1 and 12. So 1 times 12, right? It's negative, it's positive 12, so make this negative, but it still doesn't add up to -1. So it's not this one. We start with 2. 2 times 6 is 12, so let's just do this, -12, but it doesn't add up to -1. So it's not that. We do 3. 3 times 4, okay, it's 12, but we want a -1, so we want the negative to be bigger. So we put the negative sign here. So -4 times 3 is -12, and it does add up to -1. So here is our answer. Not our answer. Well, in a way, we started. So now we plug it into our original formula. X squared plus 3x minus 4x, right? Minus 12. We're solving for x. So 3x minus 4x is the same as -1. But now what I like to do here is underline, right, my first two terms and my second two terms, because that's gonna let me know what I'm working with. So here I see that I have two x's here, so I have x, I factor out of the x, and I'm left with the x plus 3. And over here I factor out a -4, and I'm left with the x plus 3. All right, because factoring is the same as distributing, but in reverse. So I see that these match, so then I did it right. Now, I'm gonna factor out the x plus 3. So I like doing it this way, right? Because this goes here and that goes here, and then my leftover is just x minus 4. But remember, this is x equal to 0. So now I have to separate them to find out my x values for each one of them. X minus 4. Then I move these over. So if I do -3, right, that is -3, and then plus 4, that's 0, that's 4. So then my first one is x equals to -3, and then x equals 4. Okay, now these are my x value solutions, which, let's see, matches which one? There it is. It's gonna match -3, right, and 4. Boom, C. Final answer, C. And it is how you do 15. Now I'm looking at 16. Now, essentially, we do the same thing for 16 and 17. Let's go ahead and set them up. Okay, so x squared minus 3x minus 4 equals 0, then x equals what? So we set up the same thing. We do the AC method. We find a -4. And we notice that if we start with 1, then -4 is multiplied, right, is -4, and it's also added up to -3. So on the first shot, pretty good. So then we just, right, set it up. x squared minus 3x, that's the original equation. We split the 3 up, and then we start our factoring. We factor out an x, right? It gives us x plus 1, factor out a -4. It gives us a 1. Then since these are the same, I take that out, right? And factor it out, and then my leftover here and here goes here. So it's just factoring, is multiplying and dividing. So then I set it equal to 0, bring it over here, x plus 1 equals 0, x minus 4 equals 0, minus 1 minus 1, x equals -1, plus 4, x equals 4. Over here, our final answer is what? -1, +4. -1, +4. So it's going to be D. Let me circle that. D. So I did some prep work just, so you guys could have a shorter video. All right. Now the next one, 17. So again, x squared plus 30 equals 11x. Now we have to get it in the ax squared plus bx plus c format. So we have to move this 11x, right? So we subtract it to both sides. It can't be subtracted or added to anything because it's just 1x. So it just gets moved down, right? It just gets squeezed in the middle. X squared minus 11x plus 30 equals 0. We do the AC method. AC equals 30. So we look for two numbers that multiply to 30, but add up to -11. So we go down the list, 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, 4 and doesn't work. So 5 and 6 work. 5 times 6 is 30, but they have to be -5 and -6. That way they can add up to -11. So once we figure those two out, we get into the factoring, right? We split them up. And then we notice that we could factor out an x, factor out -6. These two match. So we undistribute them out, right? X minus 5, we get our leftovers, x minus 6. X minus 5 equals 0, x minus 6 equals 0. Final answer, x equals 5, x equals 6. That is the, there you go. That is how you do those. That's how you factor using the AC method. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, and I hope that helped, and you have a great day.